I'm married to a woman who acts like a teenage girl, and I don't know whether to cry or laugh. My wife behaves like a teenage girl. I'm curious to know how many full-grown adults behave the way my wife does. I'd say out of all of the adult women I know, like friends, relatives, wives of my friends, none of them behave this way unless they keep it a closely guarded secret. For context, my wife is in her 30s. My wife is always obsessed with somebody, a man or sometimes multiple men at one time. Usually there is one or two main focuses at a time. When I talk obsessed, I mean obsessed like a teenage girl or maybe even preteen girl would be. I've seen pictures of her bedroom when she was that age and they were literally wallpapers and posters of her favorite guys. That's totally normal for a 13-year-old girl. She still behaves that way as a woman in her 30s. Granted, our bedroom walls aren't wallpapered in posters, but they probably would be if I allowed it. Her obsessions have ranged from rock stars, actors, non-entertainment industry public figures. It's like one day she hasn't even heard of the guy in question, and the next day she's super fan number one and knows just about everything there is to know about him. She will read and watch everything there is to watch about the man. She will bring him up in every conversation. She will adopt parts of him into her own personality. She will suggest things that make it clear to me that she wants me to adopt characteristics of these men as part of my appearance or personality. She will openly admit to me that she's self-pleasured over the guy multiple times in one day. When she finds a new man to obsess over, she puts the others in her little stable of men who she always has a place for in her heart and in her fantasies, so they never really go away. The new man just takes center stage and becomes the main focus of almost her entire life. So the current obsession is so strange to me. Never saw this one coming, but leave it to her to always find somebody new to fall in love with. The intensity that she is during these periods, it's honestly like she falls in love with these men. I'm laughing so hard just typing this out. Her current obsession is Bret Hart, former pro wrestler. This woman had never watched wrestling before in her life. Always thought that stuff was below her, and now she's obsessed with this former pro wrestler. She watched one show about him, for reasons I'm not aware of, and I could tell almost instantly where it was headed. I thought, here we go. So now the Bret Hart obsession is in full swing. Has she already dropped close to $1,000 in vintage Bret Hart shirts on eBay? Of course. Bought all the stickers and magnets and all sorts of other stupid crap she can find? Yep. Does she send me Bret Hart YouTube clips all day long when she's supposed to be working? Yes, she does. So, I better get to work brushing up on my Bret Hart knowledge and taglines. This is the key to getting laid when it comes to her. I'm used to this by now. It's just not something that I can easily explain to anyone I know. I mean, there are things I'm a fan of, but she is next level. I can't think of anyone I know who is her age and acts like this. She was voted most likely to grow up and become a groupie when she was in high school, so this is absolutely nothing new for her. Sigh. Update, I recently wrote about my wife suddenly discovering former pro wrestler, Bret the Hitman Hart, one day after never even knowing of his existence, experienced love at first sight, and is now even deeper in love with him than she was a month ago. Tonight, I experienced a good hour of her sobbing, literal sobs, after watching the Bret Hart A&E biography. I just love him so much. I love him with all my heart. I don't want any more bad things to happen to him. Also, I'm very jealous he's not my husband. She also went from not wanting any kids to suddenly wanting a baby so she can name it Bret, a girl or a boy, doesn't matter. They will be named Bret. And she almost had me convinced, but I blame that on the heat of the moment. She's bought all sorts of clothes just like his. My wife now dresses like Bret Hart in and outside of the ring. The past few days she's been acting really annoyed with me. Finally I'm like, what the heck am I doing wrong? I bought you Bret Hart stuff for your birthday. I call you Mrs. Bret Hart now, even though you're my wife. I even sent you flowers at work from Bret. I mean, that was supposed to get me points because she knew they were for me and I was playing into her obsession, which she's now apparently shared with everyone she works with. They bought her a giant Bret Hart wall decal for her office. Okay, so I did forget our anniversary, which was very recently. Totally forgot it. Then again, so did she. She was too busy self-pleasuring over Bret Hart to remember our wedding anniversary. I mean, bad husband points for me obviously, but all the birthday gifts had to have made up for it. I mean, I even ordered a Bret Hart birthday banner and got her a Bret Hart themed birthday cake as if she were a 7-year-old boy in the year 1994. So why is she acting so annoyed lately? Why does she act like she hates me and can't stand to even be in the same room as me? She finally admits, I'm not Bret Hart. None of her obsessions have ever been this bad. She's seriously threatening me with divorce now because I'm not Bret Hart. She just wants a guy like that. She had to go walk the dog today and cry over it, how much she hates me and wishes she was married to Bret Hart. Oh F me, you want a guy like your dad because that's what Bret Hart is like. Exactly like her dad, the same look, the same hair, the same damn age. I told her I think she should get checked out for autism or some other sort of disorder. Her obsessions have never been this bad. She should make an appointment now because the wait list is long. She just laughed. There's nothing wrong with her. She just has different taste in men now, according to her.